You are now tuned in to Sir Inc.'s The Experience Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything kink. Now, this podcast is only catered to those that are 18 and above and may not be safe for work, or as we like to say, NSF. But remember, you can always listen to us during your private time. Hello, kinky and kinkiers folk out there. My name is Sir Inc., and today I want to discuss with you men are bad at breakups. I'm going to focus on men on this podcast. However, I think people are bad at breakups. And there's guys that I know that always say, "Yeah, I'm bad at breakups, man. So I just do shit to make the girl break up with me." And I always wondered, where does that come from? And I've been getting some stories lately. The reason why I've been thinking about this, I've been getting some stories lately about young ladies who were dealing with dominance, and the one young lady, dominant, was moving away literally in a different direction. But not that far that they couldn't still meet up and still have their time. So he just wanted to go he was going in a different direction, location-wise, and he went another direction, relationship-wise. But he never quite gave any closure other than making the situation weird enough where you draw a conclusion of, I guess this is over then. I guess that's it. Instead of being decisive and saying, this is what it is, this is where I'm going with my life right now, this is where I see you in it or out of it, and allow that other person that you're committed to in a dynamic sense of commitment, or if you have some other kind of commitment, but at least to the dynamic, you have to be forthcoming with what you're trying to do, and that's okay. And this other young lady had more of an online situation over the course of 3-4 years. And then one day, the guy just says, I need to rethink some things, and never got back to her. Could there have been some warning signals? I'm sure that maybe one could ignore when you're on the end that doesn't know why things are getting weird, why distance is there. And a distance in a mental aspect. That's a tough one. It's a tough to be on that end. And I really don't understand guys that are so-called doms not being able to have just candid conversation about what they want, where they're going, even when things change. I get it. I think part of it is, ladies, and gentlemen, I think men that care about their mother, let me say that, men that care about their mother, or men that have a different relationship with their mother. So I would say maybe not the mama's boy. Maybe because of the love they have for their mother or some woman in their life, as far as family member, like grandmom or something like that, maybe they don't feel like they want to disappoint a woman. Maybe they don't want to feel like they're the reason why, they're the catalyst for why the relationship is coming to an end. And they really don't want to own up to that. They just want to make shit weird, and she breaks up with them, and it takes a level of anxiety off of the guy. It takes a level of responsibility off the guy. And again, when you're in this game of domination and submission, as a dominant, you should be able to say what you want. You should be able to speak who you are. And I struggle with why guys, even as dominant, struggle with that. I know, listen, having hard conversations are not easy. But it's a must that we have these kind of conversations, especially as a man. When you feel like things are changing or you want to go in a different direction, you just got to be honest about that. And I think I just really don't know where it comes from. I know where I can get where it comes from. I don't know where they think they're going with it. Like, how can you avoid a breakup? But these guys are normally more prone to be in long-term relationships as well. Because they can't deal with the single life, with the meeting and not getting so involved with someone. Or being able to keep their involvement, what we say is in pocket, but in context. If you're having sex with this young lady or a young lady and you're not feeling her in a way of relationship, you just say that. And if she's looking for a serious relationship or whatever the case may be, a dynamic, and you're not willing to play that part, then it's okay to be honest with her and let her go instead of seeing where it's going and you're acting like you really don't have no control over it. You do a little bit, but you're like a willing participant, you're not affecting anything. You're just along for the ride. So you're dealing with it. You're reacting all the time. You're not being proactive. You're not being the leader in the situation as far as your relationship. And I can see how a lot of men look at relationships like that's to the woman. In other words, the woman knows best about relationships because that's what she really wants. I want to be in a relationship, but I don't really care about all the minor details. I'm going to be a big picture guy. I'm going to stick with the big picture. As long as we're going in the direction of the big picture, I don't really care about the minute details within that. That's her world. She can have that world as long as I have certain things. And I think a lot of us fall into this very routine of the American life. And I'm sure if you're listening to this in another country that you guys may have some similarities. Maybe the hobbies become different. Guys just watch football, go out drink with their friends, got a wife, got a family, or got a girlfriend. But their life is very mainstream. Like what they promote to you on TV, that's what they do. You know, getting out, expanding your mind, having different interests is not there. They've dumbed us down. And I think, and you guys have heard me say this before, I don't think men are raised with enough emotional intelligence. And not just emotional intelligence to deal with another human being, but just emotional intelligence with yourself. Being honest with who you are, what made you who you are, and how you manage that. And as a man, when you have a relationship, unfortunately, you have to be a little bit more hands on in certain areas. You have to pick and choose your battles. Of course, you can't debate or want to control every little thing, and I get that. But a lot of times with the direction of the relationship, you absolutely got to have your hands on that. You absolutely have to have your hands on that. I don't agree that you should be able to take your hands off that at all. You need to, because you need to be the where the relationship is going at all times. And if you feel like, you know what, I wanted to make a right here, but instead I'm going to go straight, or instead I'm going to make a left, I think it's just important to tell people, you know, exactly where you are with it and where you want to go. It's really not that hard. It is that deep because you don't want to, maybe it's she's gained weight, or there's something about, or maybe you're just bored in a relationship. It takes effort to hang in there with somebody to say, you know what, I know you need to lose weight. I feel like you would be more desirable to me and for health reasons if you lost weight. So then you go on a lost weight, you go on this journey with them. You hold their hand. I told you this before, like, you want to work out, let's work out together. If it's like the relationship is getting boring, sex is boring, okay, what can we do to spice that? Is it that you need someone else to have sex with? Or do we need to add more things onto our dynamic that is sexual in nature and intimate, but not necessarily just sex, just fucking? And I think we can get into that downward spiral as men because we only see sex as like intercourse. And I think it's imperative that, and one of the things that I like about BDSM, right, it's imperative that you're into different things, and that takes more time. That's that intimacy. As young men, when you first have sex, it's, oh shit, it felt so good. Oh shit. And you just want more. And you want more. And then it's, how do you get more? And yes, you want more of what you just had. And then you get to a point where, okay, now I'm open to having more. And sex is just jackknifing when you're younger. You're just fucking. You're feeling good. You're at the level that you're at. But like anything over time, it can become mundane. It can become routine. So what do? We add different things on to make our sexual palette more expansive. That's why foreplay is so much more when you get into your 20s, your mid 20s, graduate to your 30s. You got to have a little bit more flexibility with your sex game. Your conversation has to be up. Your sex toy game got to be up. Now, guys, I'm not saying guys need to have dildos and no shit like that. How about just keeping like a feather in your room, or some lightweight cuffs, or something just tie them to the bedpost? Just simple, small shit that can spice up your bedroom experience. And take your time with it. Take your time with your partner. Even if it's somebody that it might be a one night stand, or it might just be someone you're having a sexual relationship with, but it's not going anywhere. Don't you still want to enjoy it? As you get older, you stop wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and you start to want to enjoy, at least in my experience, I want to enjoy the interaction between myself and a woman. I'm not just trying to feel her insides, but I actually want to feel her feminine energy, her feminine inside when I'm around her, the way she is, the way she sees herself, the way she's feeling herself, the way she can be just a lady, knowing when to speak, knowing how to speak, knowing how to move. Those moments are precious because not everybody has it. So when you meet someone that it works, is we flowing, like, I just want everything to be cool, and I want her to be a lady. I want her to feel protected, wanted. She wants to be guided. Give her all that. Give her all that. Give her all my energy. And when you have that kind of connection, I don't know how you guys just bail without at least a conversation. Whether your relationship was sexual or whether it was deeply connected. I don't know how you just don't have a conversation about saying, look, this is a feeling and I want to go in a different direction. And I know that it doesn't feel fair. And I know guys feel a level of selfishness with that kind of decision. But you're making that decision whether you're saying it or you're trying to force it, whether you say it or whether you like set up a situation where as though it all falls apart and it just fell apart. I don't know what happened to us. You know what I'm saying? That is some nonsense. That is nonsense. And I know that the man wants to escape that kind of emotional kind of situation, or they want to not take responsibility, but the damage that you do on the other end, not giving someone closure, is horrible. It is horrible. It is more damaging than you think. And what it does is it can hinder that person from moving forward with someone else. Number one, because they're connected to you, but then you half-ass left the door open. You left it all open-ended, so don't know. So they're going to stay frozen for a quick second, for a quick minute. And then when they do meet someone else, they don't know if they can trust it. They don't know if they can trust it. And one of the things that we need to understand in life as just being kids to teenagers to adults to your midlife to your elderly life, one thing never changes. A lot of your success in many different ways in life, in different areas in life, whether it be financial, relationship, family, all those things, you have to trust yourself to pick the right people to trust. And when you, as a dom, have a submissive that says, you're the one, I trust you. Out of all these people in the world, I trust you. And she's not a easy trusting person. It's imperative that you understand that if this goes in a different direction, I just need to tell her, look, I want to do something different. And that's fair. And that's fair. And like I said, breakups are hard for a lot of people. In my life, breakups have been hard, but I've been wanting to be able to sit down and say what my part in it is and where I'm at with it. I always like to have, you guys heard me say this before, I like to have like checkups sometimes, quarterly checkups. Where are we? How do you feel about it? Where do you feel like we are in this endeavor? Or I'm like, listen, this is what it's hitting for. This is straight sex. I don't know what you feeling, and I respect how you feel. Maybe the young lady's more in depth or more in love or seeing you more on the vanilla side. That's my man, but we might get married one day. And I'm just straight, and now I can be a dime to you, or I'm just a sex partner to you. And all the things that come along with that, we can enjoy. But this is the ceiling on that. No matter if someone else is beyond what your ceiling is, as long as you can convey what your ceiling is with them, as long as you can convey where they stand in your life, then everything else is good. So when someone else's expectation goes outside of what yours are or where you are, you can convey that. And guess what? Both people are right to feel whatever they feel. It's okay for her to feel like she's more in love. When y'all started this, it wasn't about love, it was just about sex, and y'all agreed on that. But now she's done grown into something else, right? As well as men come in thinking, man, this is going to be some sex stuff. Next thing you know, damn, I really like her. Like, damn, I'm feeling her. And like now you changed. And now your expectations are that she's going to want to come along on that journey. But not all the time. So I think it's imperative that we have these open conversations about who we are and what we want. And if that changes 5 months from now, I should be able to say, hey, look, I know I said this, but I'm going to go straight instead of making that because I'm just in a different place. Look, people change over time. Some things make people change overnight. And that's fair that people grow, and what they wanted yesterday is not what they want today. It may not be what they want tomorrow. Or maybe tomorrow they revisit what they had in the past. You feel me? But I think wherever you are in the moment, you should be very clear with that, with your intentions. Especially if you're a dime. Your intentions need to be clear. Even if they change from one day to the next, or if they change over a course of time, it doesn't matter. You need to be clear. And remember, maybe you have been the kind of guy that wants a woman to break up with you. As a dom, I say no. If she wants to break up with you because she just wants to break up with you, that's fine. But if you don't really want the dynamic anymore, please give that person the truth, and please allow that person to have closure so they can heal and move forward into a better, or just to another situation, whether it's better or not. Allow them to move on without remnants of you. And that's leaving things open. You're just trying to leave the door open so you can come back, or what's really good. See, the thought process of I don't know is not why that submissive woman chose you to trust. if she chose you to trust, then there can never be a I don't know where I stand with this guy. Never. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Send some comments down below. I will be open to the conversation. If we need to do some more, if anyone wants to get on with me, let's get on. Let's do a podcast together. And you know where to find me, Sir INQ, on Instagram and Facebook. Again, I have a new platform being worked on. When that comes up, I will be letting you guys know where that is, where you can get a lot more resources. We can do private sessions, and you will be seeing exclusive content that can't be shown anywhere else. And again, there will be a little membership fee. There will be a different kind of fee if you want to do a session, if you want to do some training, some manly maintenance for you guys that feel like you're not up to par with who you are or your confidence, or how should you go about being a dom and getting things in perspective. I have all that ready to rock. And my email is sirinq09@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time.